What's up, guys? We are back with a full NBA slate here on Wednesday, November 13th. We're going to break down every game and look at bets on the side and over-under, and I'll throw some player props in the pinned comment for tomorrow for the national TV game. So buckle up, we have a great video for you tonight. Tuesday, not looking good at all, guys. It's been kind of a clown show out there, if I'm being honest. We had the Hornets plus 6.5. That number got all the way up to plus 9, and they absolutely crapped the bed, guys. Josh Green, Brandon Miller, both absolutely horrible out there. The Hornets had 22 turnovers in the game. They couldn't keep it even close, which was shocking. They wasted a great game there from LaMelo Ball. We had the over there in the Knicks 76ers game, and we had Jalen Brunson over 25.5 points. I'm sandwiching those together because they went hand in hand, guys. The Knicks, Sixers didn't get over that number. Both teams shot the ball terrible from the field, and watching that game, guys, there wasn't a ton of great defense going on, so just a lot of missed shots out there. Brunson, he rolled his ankle. He couldn't make a shot, so yeah, I'm, just chalking that one up to, you bet a prop and a guy gets injured. What are you going to do? Like, he's just not going to have a great night. He played the whole game, don't get me wrong, but definitely not at 100% out there. We also had the Raptors plus 7, another spot that I thought was very, very good, but they lost that game 85-99. Toronto dominated the boards. They played great defense, but they absolutely could not hit a shot. RJ Barrett had a terrible game out there. So we still had a couple live plays here at time of recording, but the Timberwolves not having a great time right now, although they're making a comeback there, and it's still only in the second quarter. So that play is still definitely live. Steph Curry is off to a very good start there for the Warriors, so hitting the over 25.5 points on his player prop, definitely still alive, but obviously not looking like the night we wanted. I guess it was time for us to give a little bit back after a 2 or 3 day good run there that we've had going. So we'll see what happens out there today. If you want to win all of your bets, hit that like button. It's good luck and show support for the channel and all the hard work I'm putting in here every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like they are right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments really helps keep me motivated to make these videos every single day. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and NCAA basketball, which is on a very hot run right now. I think we are 6-1 or 5-1 over the last 3 days. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium picks straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into game 1 here on Wednesday, guys. We got the Indiana Pacers. They're going on the road to take on the Orlando Magic. The Pacers come into this game, guys. They are 500 on the year, 5-5 overall. They are coming off a nice 132-121 win there over the Knicks, so that's got to feel pretty good. Obviously, something of a rivalry there between those two teams, and the Pacers really came out, shot the ball well in the win at 45.7% from 3. Halliburton had a huge game. Mathurin had a massive game out there, and yeah, just a really great night out there for the Pacers. So they definitely got some momentum coming into this game, despite, the fact they're going on the road here. They're relatively healthy coming into this one. The only guy there on the injury report for the Pacers is Obi Toppin. He is currently dealing with an ankle injury, and he is listed as questionable. So we'll see if he ends up playing in this game. I don't think that's a huge deal either way, though, but we'll see here. They need everybody they could possibly have as they go on the road to take on the Orlando Magic, who are 6-6 on the season, despite dealing with the absence there of Paolo Banchero. The Magic did just play last night at home against Charlotte, so they didn't have to travel here, just waiting on the Pacers to come into town, but they are definitely going to be at least a little bit fatigued. It was a 114-89 win. Kind of a tough game there. Just, their opponent couldn't make a shot. So definitely some solid defense being played by the Magic. That's, kind of a calling card of this team. They're definitely a good team there on the defensive side. And yeah, we've seen some great things from Franz Wagner this season, guys. The jump shot from 3 still not looking amazing. He was 2 of 9 last night, but yeah, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He posted a plus 19 out there. Jalen Suggs hit a logo 3. He was 3 of 5 on the night from deep. He posted a plus 17 with 17 points. Mo Wagner, guys, the dude is going absolutely nuts out there. He had 18 points coming off the bench in 24 minutes. He had 5 rebounds, an assist, a couple of steals. He posted a plus 30. That Magic bench had a huge night. So we'll see what they can do in this one, see if they're super fatigued. Guys, the Magic, they're getting 2.5 points in this game. We got an over-under of 227.5. The Pacers, they're 6-4 against the spread. They are 7-3 to the over. Orlando, 4-7 against the spread and 6-5 themselves to the over. So yeah, it's definitely some over trends in this game. Might want to be looking towards that over 227.5, especially with the Pacers playing at, like such a frenetic pace. We did see the Pacers get, a win their last time out against the Knicks, so that was a good look. They faced the Magic much earlier this season. That was in a game that Paolo Banchero played, and we saw Orlando get the 119-115 win, but not a whole lot we can take from that, guys. I'm going to be leaning slightly towards the over here, and probably just a small lean towards the Pacers at -2.5, just leaning a bit into, that fatigue factor in Banchero not being there. And, we have a big kind of letdown spot here for the Magic coming off of that nice win where they shot the ball so well. So maybe we see the Pacers, continue and build some momentum here and get a nice win over, a Magic team that definitely still going to be missing Wendell Carter Jr. for this game, and obviously will be without Banchero for the foreseeable future. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Celtics come into this game 9-3 on the season. They're fresh off of a loss, though, a very embarrassing loss last night against the Atlanta Hawks, who were 15.5-point underdogs. The Hawks managed to win that game by 1 point, handing Boston that loss. Obviously, it was not the full-strength Boston Celtics, guys. Definitely no doubt about that, but still a great night out there from the Atlanta Hawks. Big time stepping up there from them. Yeah, Jaylen Brown had 37 points. We saw, decent stuff out there from Derek White for sure with 31 points. He played great, but really no other. I mean, Jason Tatum only 5 of 16 from the field. It was questionable whether he was going to play in that game. He did have 20 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, but really the bench fell apart there for the Celtics. Pritchard, not too good there in his 25 minutes off the pine. Just not a very good day for the Boston bench, and they didn't even have a good time on the boards, getting out-rebounded by a substantial margin, so definitely some concerns there. Boston does come into this game healthy, so that's a good sign. They'll be playing on back-to-back nights, so we'll have to watch the fatigue factor, but I think we can trust them to pretty much be at full strength, and this definitely qualifies as a back-to-back spot after an embarrassing loss. So we'll see what they can do against the Brooklyn Nets, who are 5-6 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of a 2-point win there over the New Orleans Pelicans, who are currently decimated with injuries. The Nets themselves, they've got Dorian Finney-Smith there on the injury report. Bogdanovich still, we don't know when he's going to be coming back, but Dorian Finney-Smith questionable for this game with an ankle issue. I think there's a very reasonable chance that he doesn't end up playing in this game, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, the main thing for the Nets is can Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson go off for a ton of points, so we'll see what happens there. The Nets are getting 9 points playing at home in this game. We've got an over-under of 218.5. Boston 6-6 against the spread, 7-5 to the under. Brooklyn 9-2 against the spread, an NBA best against the spread number. They are 6-5 to the under. Guys, I like the Boston Celtics -9 in this spot a lot. This is a huge bounce back spot for them. They're going to be embarrassed after losing a game to the Atlanta Hawks. That is not what's supposed to happen. I think we can see, good things from the Celtics bench. I think the bench is definitely in a bounce back situation as well. The starters, Jaylen Brown played great. Jason Tatum needs to play a bit better. Regardless, I like the Celtics here to win this game by double digits. In terms of that over-under of 218.5, we got both teams showing slight trends towards the under, but I don't really think this is an under game, so I'd maybe lean slightly towards the over, but not an over-under spot that I love. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls. They're going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. The Bulls come into this game 4-7 on the season, fresh off a 119-113 loss there against Cleveland. So they kept that game pretty close against what's looking like one of the best teams, at least in the Eastern Conference, but they weren't able to come away with a win there at the end. Chicago obviously not having an amazing time this season. They had no answers there for Donovan Mitchell. We did see Levine have a very good night. Kobe White played well. Vujacic played well. This just seems like a team where the starters play well. The bench kind of doesn't do too much, and they just kind of quietly lose these games. They lost despite out-rebounding Cleveland by 8, and just a little bit of a rough look there for the Bulls right now. We see Lonzo Ball still going to be out for this game. Jalen Smith on the injury report as well. Zach LaVine listed on the injury report. He is technically probable for this game, so obviously we do expect to see him out there as they go on the road to take on the Knicks, who are now 5-5 on the season, coming off of a win last night, guys, against the Philadelphia 76ers. A very nice win there, despite, not playing their best and definitely not shooting the best. Jalen Brunson rolled his ankle there a little bit, so definitely some injury concerns for the Knicks in this game, guys. Yeah, that 111-99 win there in a play-in tournament game has to feel pretty good. We'll see if the Knicks can, continue rolling here. Yeah, nobody listed on the injury report. That game just ended, but I'm definitely expecting to see Brunson on there. There's no way he won't be at least slightly limited for this game. I could definitely see him sitting this one out. So looking at the numbers for this game, game, guys, we see the Knicks, they're -8.5. We've got an over-under of 227.5. Chicago, 6-5 against the spread this season, 6-5 to the over. The Knicks, 4-5 against the spread, and 5-4 to the over. Guys, I like the Chicago Bulls in the points in this spot. They're playing pretty well. They're relatively healthy, not fully healthy. I mean, Levine's going to play in this game, I'm convinced. So we're not too worried about the health situation, but I am worried about the health situation for the Knicks. They're going to be fatigued. They play heavy minutes. I mean, last night in that game against the 76ers, guys, we saw Bridges play 35, Anunoby played 41, Cat played 38, Brunson only 35. I say only 35. And Josh Hart played 37 minutes. So I do think we could see some fatigue factor. I think the Chicago Bulls managed to keep this game close. In terms of that over-under of 227.5, I would maybe shade towards the under, but not an over-under spot that I like. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Cavs come into this game still perfect on the year, 12-0. They're coming off of that win over the Bulls. They played pretty well in that one to get a kind of narrow win, 119-113, but another very good win there for the Cavs. Jared Allen is on the injury report, so is Sam Merrill. They're both questionable. There's a chance that both of them play. There's a chance that neither one of them plays. Obviously, we got to wait for a little bit more news on that game. We don't really know what's going to go on there, but, just in general, this team is playing fantastic right now. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling here against the Philadelphia 76ers, who lost last night in that play-in tournament game against the Knicks. They're now 2-8 on the season. They saw Embiid come back for his first action of the year, and he looked, I guess okay out there, but not amazing, guys. He was not moving that well, wasn't playing amazing defense necessarily, and that's something they're definitely going to need from him on this team. We saw Paul George shoot the lights out. He was 7 of 11 from 3, scored 29 points. McCann looked great off the bench once again, 23 points from him coming off the pine in his 30 minutes, but yeah, Lowry looking very mediocre out there. Oubre looking bad. Embiid only 2 of 11 from the field. 8 of his points got scored at the free throw line. He was 1 of 5 from three-point range. This dude is not in game shape. He is not ready to go. So big concerns there for the 76ers as they wait for Maxey to come back. He's going to be out for this game, but other than that, they're listed as healthy right now. It's going to be a wait-and-see situation on whether or not, we're going to see guys like Paul George or Embiid play here on back-to-back nights. Cleveland, they are 9-3 against the spread this season, 7-5 to the over. The 76ers, 2-7 against the spread, and 5-4 to the over. Guys, the 76ers are plus 9.5. We got an over-under of 220.5. I'm going to be leaning just a little bit towards that over 220.5, but other than that, this is kind of a wait-and-see game. We need more entry information. Next on the docket, we're looking at the New Orleans Pelicans. They're going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pelicans come into this game only 3-8 on the season, fresh off a 107-105 loss there to the Brooklyn Nets. They've now lost, 5 games in a row, just straight up not having a good time. They can't keep anybody healthy right now. It's feeling like they're a little bit cursed. Brandon Ingram, he did put up 24 points in the loss. Trey Murphy III put up 12, but it is rough sailing right now. We're just seeing more and more injuries happen for the Pelicans, who just are running out of really starting level NBA caliber talent. They're going to be, it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. Alvarado's now hurt. CJ McCollum's still out. Zion's out for God knows how long. This team is decimated right now by injuries, so they're going to have to try and pick up the pieces here and put up some sort of fight against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 9-2 on the season. They come into this game fresh off a 134-128 win there over the Clippers. Obviously, a very high-scoring game. We saw SGA put up a new career-high 45 points, so that was pretty cool. The Thunder shot, 39.1% from three-point range, knocking in 18 threes. They didn't look very good on the boards. That's definitely something of a concern until they finally get their big men back. But right now, guys, it's looking like they're going to be both without, Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren for the moment. So, yeah, things are looking pretty small out there for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are minus 14.5 for this game. We've got an over-under of 222.5. New Orleans only 2-9 against the spread. That's an NBA worst against the spread record. They are 7-3-1 to the over. The Thunder are 7-4 against the spread. They're 6-5 to the over themselves. I do like over 222.5 a little bit here. The Thunder just continue to play high-scoring games. I don't know if I can really take the Thunder here at minus 14.5. That's just a ton of points, but man, the Pelicans have almost no one left, and they're playing on the road here. In Oklahoma City, they're kind of banged up too. So yeah, I don't really know which way to go here against the spread, guys. I definitely think this is a slight over spot, but I think there are, games with a little bit more real information that we can look at that we just have a better time capping this one. If you're forcing me to make a play, I guess give me the Thunder minus 14.5 since, the Pelicans have like no real NBA players left, but we'll see how that goes. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the LA Clippers. They're going on the road here to take on the Houston Rockets. The Clippers come into this game 6-5 on the season. They are fresh off a 134-128, that, close, high-scoring, competitive loss they had there against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They put up a pretty good fight, but weren't able to quite get it over the top there, guys. It's going to be interesting to see what Harden looks like here going back to his old stomping grounds in their loss against the Thunder. He had a decent night, but not really transcendent stuff. Only 17 points on 5 of 15 from the field. He did have 11 rebounds and 9 assists. Zubac had a big game. Derrick Jones Jr. played really well. Norman Powell was the star for the Clippers out there, though, guys. 31 points, 5 of 8 from three-point range. He was absolutely cooking. We saw Coffey have a good night off the bench, but overall, it just wasn't enough. They shot 54.1% from three-point range and still managed to lose the game. So, yeah, things looking a little bit rough there for the Clippers, who come into this one with a clean bill of health. Obviously, without Kawhi, but I don't know if that even really counts anymore. Other than that, they're healthy and ready to go on the road here to take on the Rockets, who are 7-4 this season. They come into this game fresh off a 107-92 win there over the Washington Wizards. They've now won 2 in a row, 4 out of their last 5. They also had a loss there against the Thunder, so they're doing what they can. They did barely win against Detroit. So, yeah, not a team that I would say is cruising. They've had to work for their wins, but they're getting some wins. They do come into this game a little bit banged up. I mean, Steven Adams, not somebody we are super concerned about, but Fred VanVleet ending up on the injury report, definitely something you want to look into. He's dealing with a hamstring issue. He's questionable for this game. Kind of seems unlikely that he would play. You do not want to further aggravate a hamstring issue. You could end up being out for quite a while. So I think we're going to be looking at the Rockets here without Fred VanVleet. So the numbers for this game, guys, the Rockets are minus 4.5. We've got an over-under of 214.5. The Clippers 7-4 against the spread, 7-4 to the under. Houston 6-5 against the spread and 7-4 to the under. Guys, I like the Clippers here at plus 4.5 quite a bit. Obviously, we're going to want to get some real injury news about the availability of VanVleet out there, but overall, guys, I definitely think this is a spot you want to go with the Clippers and the points. In terms of that over-under of 214.5, that is a really small number. I'm going to shade just a slight bit towards the over, despite both teams showing trends here towards the under. That just is such a small number out there, and both teams can score a little bit, so give me a look at that over. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Pistons. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pistons look like a completely different team this season. They're coming off of a very weird win there where a crazy timeout mistake there from Eric Spoelstra basically gives them the win in overtime. They end up with a 123-121 win there over the Miami Heat. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff from Detroit. They're, like I said, looking completely different this year. Turns out having a coach not actively sabotage your team makes you a lot better. In that overtime win, we saw plenty of positives. Cade Cunningham had a decent night out there. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but 9 assists and 7 rebounds to go along with 21 points. The bench played great, guys. Malik Beasley, 21 points off the bench. We also saw good stuff from Jaden Ivey, saw good stuff from Tobias Harris. Probably his best game of the season. Playing 40 minutes will do that for you, though. So we'll see what they can do in this game, see what kind of energy they've got left after a crazy overtime game against a very, very tough opponent. So we'll see what they can do. In terms of the injury report, it's not really fully updated yet, so we'll see who's ready to go and who is not. But playing on back-to-back nights, coming off an overtime game, has to be a little bit tough for anyone. They're taking the Milwaukee Bucks, who played last night at home against Toronto in a game where Toronto played terrible, just couldn't shoot the ball well. And yeah, the Bucks end up with a 99-85 win there. So they've got to be pretty excited about that, although probably not that excited about the direction of their season, as they're only 3-8 overall. In that win, Giannis leading the way there. Obviously, guys, he put up 23 points. Not a whole lot of other guys going nuts. I mean, Bobby Portis had a decent night off the bench, but he was only 1 of 7 from 3. The Bucks managed to win this game despite shooting 28.6% from 3-point range on 56 attempts and losing the rebounding battle. So a lot of questions here for the Bucks. We don't know if Dame's going to be back for this game or not. He's dealing with, concussion symptoms there. He's in the concussion protocol. We'll see if he can get back for this one or if he wants to get back for this one. Things are getting real weird there for Milwaukee, not going to lie. So we'll see what happens there. Middleton was ruled out for yesterday's game. We don't really know when he's going to come back. I doubt that it will be tomorrow or in this game. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I think we're going to be seeing the Bucks as they are. Looking at the numbers, the Bucks are -5 for this one. We've got an over-under of 220.5. Detroit 6-5 against the spread, 8-4 to the under. Milwaukee 3-7 against the spread and 7-3 to the under themselves. In terms of the side for this game, guys, I'm going to lean a bit towards Detroit, despite the fact they should be exhausted coming into this game and having to go from, Detroit to Milwaukee. I mean, not like that's a long trip, but still. Overall, though, guys, I think the under is the play on this game. Definitely give me under 220.5. This is such a good underplay to me. I think it's even got a chance to end up in the pinned comment with these two exhausted teams. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Washington Wizards. They're going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Wizards come into this game only 2-7 on the year as they begin what looks like another very long, very boring or pointless or hopeless season for the Washington Wizards. They just lost 107-92 at Houston. They've now lost 5 in a row, and things are just not looking up for this, beleaguered franchise. In that loss against Houston, they just didn't really have any good answers for anything out there, it didn't feel like. I mean, just a bad game up and down. Their leading scorer, Kuzma, was back, 18 points for him, cool. Jordan Poole, a bad night, only 11 points his way, and yeah, a 92-point performance in an NBA game, not looking so hot. They had no answers for Sengun out there. They had very few answers for Jalen Green. Just not a very fun time to be a Washington Wizards fan, although it's been a long time since it has been a good time. So we'll see what Washington can do in this one. They're, pretty much fully healthy coming into this game, so we'll see if they can make it competitive against the San Antonio Spurs, who are 5-6 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of probably their best win of the year, taking down the Sacramento Kings 116-96. Wemby looking like a monster out there pretty much on both ends. They are letting him shoot an awful lot of threes, which I think is probably not super necessary, but he did, shoot the ball relatively well. 6 of 12 there from three-point range, so not relatively well. An insane shooting night for him, but he's been shooting the ball relatively well lately over his last couple games, and 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks. I'm not going to be complaining about that too much at all. He also got some help out there, but not a ton. Chris Paul put up 11 assists in the game, so that's pretty cool. I haven't really seen Harrison Barnes emerge as, a big help for this team like I was hoping he would. But overall, the bench played well. The starters played well. They shot 47.8% from three-point range. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Spurs are -7.5. We've got an over-under of 222.5. Washington only 2-7 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. The Spurs 6-5 against the spread and 6-5 to the under. Think this is a spot where you want to take the Spurs to win and cover. It feels a little bit sketchy because they're not that great of a team, but I'm expecting continued success for Wembanyama. There's nobody on the Wizards that can even kind of guard him. I don't know if there's anybody on the Wizards that can really guard anyone, so give me a little bit of a look at the Spurs here, -7.5. I also think you could take the over in this game, but generally speaking, guys, this isn't one that I have a ton of interest in. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Memphis Grizzlies. They're going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Grizzlies are 7-4 on the season, kind of a quiet 7-4, and they haven't played a ton of, high-profile games against, great opponents, but they have won their last 3 in a row, including that 131-114 beat down there against the Lakers. So we'll see if they can kind of keep that momentum going. They have won the 2 games since then, but, destroying Washington and Portland, not really going to get me too impressed, guys, but in that 134-89, a real blowout there against the Trailblazers, guys. We saw some good stuff. Scottie Pippen Jr. put up, a nice performance, 17 points for him. He's having a great season. We saw Aldama continue to shoot the ball pretty well. He put up a +33 out there. Jaren Jackson Jr. staying healthy and putting up 20 points and 7 rebounds, and the bench looking really, really good as well. The Grizzlies got that crazy blowout despite shooting only 37.2% from three-point range. So, a kind of normal shooting kind of numbers type of night. So, very good stuff there from the Grizzlies, who are dealing with a lot of injuries, guys. Ja, Marcus Smart, and Desmond Bane have all been missing time, and we don't really know for sure when those guys are going to be back. Ja dealing with that hip issue. He's considered week to week with no specific timetable for his return. I think it's pretty unlikely that we see him playing this game. Marcus Smart dealing with that ankle issue. He's been upgraded to questionable for this game against the Lakers, so it's a possibility that he plays. And then Desmond Bane, guys, he's dealing with that oblique issue. He is officially out for this game against the Lakers. So definitely not going to be the full strength Memphis Grizzlies here as they go on the road to take on the Lakers, who are 6-4 this season. They come into this game fresh off a 123-103 win there over Toronto, where they really had to kind of go nuts in the second half. The game before that, they won against the, not full strength Philadelphia 76ers. It's not like the Lakers have been having a great time. They got off to a good start with wins against, Minnesota, Phoenix, and Sacramento. But, once they got into kind of the meat of their schedule, and even when they were playing some bad teams, so they've got losses to Toronto and Detroit this year already. So, definitely still plenty to work on there for the Lakers. But they come into this game playing well, fresh off of that 123 to 101 win there, or 103 win against the Raptors. We've seen LeBron look amazing at times this season, guys, especially since he's 238 years old. Posted a triple-double against Toronto, 16 assists, 10 rebounds, 19 points. Anthony Davis has been a monster. Austin Reeves is playing great this season. The bench hasn't been amazing, although they were very good in that game against the Raptors. D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench, I think is a great idea if he can embrace the role. Jackson Hayes had a pretty good day. We'll see what happens. I'm a little bit disappointed to see Dalton Connect not looking better off the bench, but he did look good in that game against Toronto, so we'll see if he can earn some more minutes out there. But looking at the numbers for this game, the Lakers are 6.5-point favorites. We've got an over-under of 230.5. Memphis 6-5 against the spread, 7-4 to the over. The Lakers 6-4 against the spread, and 5-5 there against the over-under. Yeah, guys, I'm leaning towards the Lakers here a little bit. I'm just not loving how banged up the Grizzlies are right now. They've got very few, really great. I mean, if Ja was playing in this game, give me the Grizzlies for sure. He's not. He's not going to be playing in this game, so give me the Lakers here at -6.5. I think it's a pretty good spot for them. In terms of that over-under of 230.5, I'm not in love with that. I would maybe lean slightly towards the over, but yeah, not an over-under spot that I'm going to get very interested in. Next up, guys, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Portland Trail Blazers in the second game of their little 2-game mini series there at Portland. These two teams are playing right now. Minnesota has cut it to a 7-point lead there at halftime. So Portland's still up by 7, still leading at half, but it is much closer than it was. The Timberwolves got off to a really bad start, but turns out Portland is really bad. We'll see what the Timberwolves can do here, guys. Obviously, we're going to be withholding judgment until we see the outcome of this game, but right now, it seems like, the Timberwolves have a decent chance to make a comeback. Portland hasn't been having a good season. They're only 3-8 on the year. Their probably best win of the season came by a single point over the Clippers, and other than that, they've just really been having a rough time. Lots of reason for concern here. We've got injuries on the report already. There's guys missing their current game that's going on right now, and a lot of questions about, the long-term viability of Scoot Henderson, as, he was supposed to be a franchise player. Not looking so hot at the moment. So definitely lots of problems right now. DeAndre Ayton not playing in the current Tuesday game. Will he play on Wednesday? We don't know yet. He's dealing with a finger issue, and he certainly seems like a guy that's not going to be fighting through a lot of pain to play in NBA games. Right now, the Blazers are getting +9. They're getting 9 points playing at home in this one. We've got an over-under of 220.5. Guys, if Minnesota manages to lose this game, game 1 of this series, I will be slamming it on Minnesota -9 for game 2, but we just got to wait and see on this one. Also, that over-under of 220.5. I would lean just a little bit towards the over there. Not a spot that I'm necessarily in love with, but like I said, guys, we have to just wait for this current game to finish before I can give you my best lean on this one. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Phoenix Suns. They're going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The Suns come into this game, guys. They just played against Utah. That game just finished up, so they're going to be playing on back-to-back nights. I mean, traveling from Utah to Sacramento, obviously a very, very quick trip. So I'm not going to be overly worried about fatigue here. But, the Suns do have some older guys on the roster. We did see KD and Nurkic both miss, their current game. So we'll see if they play in this one. KD definitely not going to be playing. I wouldn't think. Why would you rush a guy back from a calf strain that's had a history of time? And yeah, he's out for at least 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm saying. I already knew that. I talked about that yesterday. He is not going to be back for this game. So yeah, no KD. Nurkic, on the other hand, with an ankle thing going on, it's not impossible that he ends up playing. He is officially questionable for this game, so hasn't been ruled out here for Wednesday. We'll see what happens there, but a good game for the Suns there in their win over the Jazz. I mean, a 120 to 112 win. Devin Booker doing big things out there, getting to be top dog with Kevin Durant out. He put up 31 points. Bradley Beal put up 24. The bench looked very good. Grayson Allen shot the lights out, guys. 4 of 9 from 3 isn't that crazy for him, but he put up a +12 and 15 points there in that win. So yeah, good stuff there from the Suns. They're gonna be looking to revenge a loss they took against Sacramento, guys. They lost to the Kings 127 to 118 only a couple games ago. So we'll see if they're able to bounce back here against the Kings, who are 6-5 on the season. They're going to come into this game rested, but also fresh off a 116 to 96 loss to the San Antonio Spurs. This is not a Kings team that's supposed to be losing games to teams like the San Antonio Spurs, guys. That is not a good look. Yeah, they just could not stop Wembanyama. He was knocking down threes. Sabonis, DeRozan, and Fox all scored over 20 points, but it just wasn't enough because the bench was absolutely AFK. There was just nothing coming from the bench, so definitely an area of concern there for the Kings. They come into this game with a pretty clean injury report. Obviously, Malik Monk missing there is a big part of why this bench is so messed up and not producing a ton, but they've got to figure some things out. They got to shuffle some guys around. They got to do something because he's not going to be back super quick, guys. He's going to be out for at least 2 weeks, and until he's back, this bench has to find some way here to improve. So you're looking at the numbers for this game, guys. The Kings are -6. We've got an over-under of 225.5. Phoenix 3-7 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Sacramento 5-1 against the spread, and 6-5 to the under. This is a bit of a letdown spot here for the Suns. I just don't think I can justify taking the Kings here at -6. I mean, that seems like too many points to me, but not that much too many. And the Suns should be tired for this game. It's a bit of a letdown spot. They're not going to have KD. I don't know. It's a tough one, guys. It's a really rough one to figure out. I mean, I'm leaning just slightly here towards the over 225.5. In terms of a side, if you're forcing me to give you a look on this game, I'm leaning just slightly here towards the Suns and the points, but it's not going anywhere near the pinned comment. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.